you are notoriously evil about almost everybody. So what do you think of the new politics where everyone just whacks everybody else?
Well, I don't think you know me, Piers Morgan. I think we maybe spent 8 seconds together, and perhaps you're
a long 8
selectively...
seconds.
Well,
all right. Well, Andrew is here now with more reaction. My first question, Andrew, when I saw this repeated, of course, because I was on the air, you should have been on Fox Business last night, by the way, was why didn't you just walk out?
It was strange. I almost didn't think that I heard it right at first, and then I kind of realized what it was. You know, I think that I have to take these blows. I have to go into the ring with the mainstream media. I'm not your typical pundit or journalist. I don't really go after the politicians to the degree that I, as a person, go after the mainstream media and Hollywood. I go after the cultural left. And so these people take it very personally when I point out their biases and their mistakes, and I think that this isn't the first person to ambush me when I've been on a show, and the problem is they don't know me, and so anyone that knows me knows that I'm a goofy, light-hearted guy, and they try and portray me as a really angry guy, and the only time I've ever been really angry is when I'm being attacked. So it's a weird quandary I find myself in, but it's quite frankly what I do for a living.
Well, he claims, by the way, that he was just joking. It was kind of a British sense of humor. The joke was lost on me. Did anybody pick up on that as a joke?
Well, he did respond to me by email within an hour of the segment. He said that his joke was his British humor, and he thought that I would respond in kind. I obviously didn't interpret it as a joke, and I take him at his word. I'm here not to berate Piers Morgan, but to illuminate for the audience that this is what the mainstream media, this is how they behave. This happened to me with Martin Bashir.
Well, let me just play that. We actually have a clip of that. Let's play his interview with Martin Bashir. We can show that right now.
Marilyn Davenport, Republican official in Orange County, sent an email to a number of colleagues featuring President Obama dressed and in a family of apes.
Are you asking me about this? What do I have to do with it?
I want to ask you, what do you think of that image?
It's deplorable. It's deplorable. It's reprehensible, and you're trying to insinuate that I'm a racist here, which is what MSNBC does to conservatives every single day.
That was actually much worse than what we saw last night. Don't you agree?
It was, but here's what I think is at play. Again, if you see the media class treat Timothy McVeigh and Hugo Chavez and Castro much better, or the Unabomber better than they do. Innocent until proven guilty.
Oh, yeah.
But I am going after them, and I think that what's interesting about Bashir and Piers Morgan, because they really do kind of remind me of each other. I don't think that Bashir or Morgan have any skin in the American political experience. I think that they're over here trying to learn the way that a Japanese baseball player comes over here to see if he can make it in the big leagues.
Well, I think you're being too kind. Andrew, I really think, hold on a second, because I once went to a luncheon for Fidel Castro, certainly one of the worst dictators in our hemisphere, and he was embraced. This was in New York. He was embraced by Barbara Walters, by all these media stars that were there to fet him at this luncheon. So I think you're wrong. I think it's American journalists as well as foreign journalists.
Yeah, but the reason why Bashir, but I'm not that well known in Britain, and so this guy's not paying attention to the blogosphere, nor is Martin Bashir. And both of them, I think, are being fed by the guy in the earphone, the producer, who knows the threat that I stand against the mainstream journalism and the old journalism versus the new media. And I think that they're taking the cues of the producers. That's just my That's just my take on it.
Very quickly, Andrew, we only have about 20 seconds, but a baby was found in Occupy Wall Street thing in Washington, Occupy D.C., I guess. 13-month-old baby was essentially deserted by the father for a few hours, was arrested when he came back to collect the baby. What does this say to you?
Well, we stopped counting at about 130 arrests and rapes and all those type of things a couple months ago. Didn't even know Occupy was still really happening anymore. But this is Occupy has been filled with criminal acts from the very beginning. It doesn't surprise me. Good for the people at Occupy who reported on the baby as being missing, and good for the police for arresting the guy.
Andrew, Breitbart, BigGovernment.com. Good to see you, Andrew. Thank you very much. Well,
Thank
it's a
you.